Good evening. On behalf of the commissioners and staff, I would like to welcome you all to the September 9th, 2025 City of Roseville Grants Advisory Commission meeting. Now, if you could please put all electronic devices on silent at this time. Agendas are available at the end of the table, at the end of the staff table. The meeting will be viewed on Comcast Channel 14, video streamed live on the city's website at roseville.ca.us/watch. And roseville.ca.us/agenda, and the city's YouTube channel at youtube.com/City of Roseville, California. I will now call the meeting to order. Heather, will you please call the roll?
Chair Acosta,
Present.
Vice Chair Kriz,
Present.
Commissioner Malasara,
Present.
Commissioner Meeks Harris,
Present.
Commissioner Murray is excused absence. Commissioner Parker,
Present.
Commissioner Rosano,
Present.
and Youth Commissioner Zeman.
Present.
Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, this is the time for public comments. Public comments is a time for anyone that would like to address the commission on any grants advisory related items not listed on tonight's agenda. Speakers addressing the commission during this time are asked to approach the podium, state their name, and are limited to 5 minutes. Again, the topics must be regarding items that are not listed on tonight's agenda and are within the Grants Advisory Commission jurisdiction. The Brown Act does not permit any action or discussion on items not listed on the agenda, and no action will be taken on items addressed under public comments. Does anybody have anything for public comments this evening? None. I will close public comments. The next item on the agenda is item 5.1, approval of the August 12th, 2025 meeting minutes. After some review, I will entertain a motion if there are no comments or corrections.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up is item 5.2, the 2024-2025 Citizens Benefit Fund, ARPA, and REACH grant recipient presentations. Each organization has 3 minutes to present and talk about their organization's programs and efforts, including the impacts, and the results due to the funding they received. We do have a time limit due to the number of organizations that are here tonight. So once you get past 3 minutes, we will kindly ask you to wrap up your presentation. The vice chair and I will take turns calling each organization up to the podium based on who RSVP'd to attend. If at the end I have not called your organization, feel free to step up to the podium and introduce yourself. And with that, we are going to start with the Roseville Police Activities League, please.
Good evening, commission members. My name is Jamie Hazen. I am the executive director for the Roseville Police Activities League, and thank you for this time. I again want to tell you, you'll hear this tonight several times, but thank you for what you do in the community. I know you guys have tough decisions to make when it comes to the grants, so thank you very much. You do a lot for our community, and it's very helpful. So at RPAL, 98% of our kids are Roseville residents. And although we allow children of all income levels, most of our children are low to very low incomes. Because our camp splits between 2 fiscal years, we report on the summer program as a whole. So this data in this report is for the summer camp for June and July of 2024, so last summer. We had 66 kids signed up. We averaged 42 kids each day with our largest single day attendance of 55, and that was the day that we all toured the Roseville Police Department, so they love that tour. Some statistical data for you. We had 42 male and 24 female campers. Our 7 to 10-year-old range, we had 48 kids. Our 11 and 12-year-olds, we had 13 kids. And our 13 and 14-year-old kids, we had 5. These were our junior teen camp leaders. and 3 of them went on to register for our Teen Leadership Academy that we held this last spring in 2025. So the 7-week program that we had last summer, it was very successful. We promoted health and wellness and positive youth development. We partnered with the Placer County Health and Human Services, and the camp offered weekly cooking classes that taught nutrition and healthy eating and provided recipes for easy-to-fix snacks that kids can incorporate on their own. Not all kids have the opportunity to learn how to cook, so we try to teach them easy snack ideas. Beyond education, the camp fostered social and emotional growth by encouraging friendships, reducing screen time, and offering a variety of physical and creative activities. The kids listened to anti-bullying talks from the Roseville Police Department staff and even seemed to be interested in the talk that we gave them about how important sleep is to their overall health. I bore them, but they liked it. So the program was very well received and attended in the summer of 2024. And having said that, our camp program increased by more than 25% this year, and I can't wait to come back next year and tell you how successful our summer was for 2025. So thank you again very much. We appreciate you.
Okay, I've got the next introduction, but before we do that, I just kind of wanted to add a little commentary in regards to why we do this. So a lot of times, people don't know the great work that you're doing out in the community, and that became evident when we did the needs assessment back in 2018-19, and the final report was in 2020. That helped us be able to identify where the money should go in regards to where the needs are in the community, different ways of being able to make sure that it went to the improving the betterment of the quality of life in the city of Roseville. But one of the glaring things that came out of that report was the fact that there were very few people in the community that knew the great work that was going on by the nonprofits that was making Roseville the special place that it is. And so this really is a thank you to all of you and all the applicants that have applied for this. And this is your opportunity to be able to share with us what's going on in the community, but not only us, but those on the viewing public, as well as we'll be able to have this in the archives and be able to use this information in regards to continuing to push this out to the community so that they are aware of the great work that's going on in the community. So that's kind of why we do this. Didn't feel that you just needed another thing to do in an evening to get you out of the house, but it does have a little method to the madness here. So we appreciate each one of you and the work that you're doing. So now we're going to hear from the next presenter, which is the Assistance League of Greater Placer. Okay. And this was the Roseville Kids Shop Head to Toe.
Hi, I'm Patty Bond, and thank you for supporting our Roseville Kids Head to Toe program. This is Carol Brock, and she is in charge of the shoe portion of our program. The Assistance League uses the grant funds for our signature Operation School Bell shopping, which is coming up very soon in October. We have invited this year 640 kids from Roseville schools, from TK through high school, and they are invited to come and shop at Target. We have a range of funds available for the students. The little ones get $110 all the way up to $170 a student for the high school, because their clothes cost more money. We also provide individual shopping throughout the year. So if a school calls us and says that they have a student who needs clothing or needs shoes, then we will work one-on-one with those families and meet them at a Target store and provide their children with clothing. So I will turn it over to Carol Brock.
Hi, thank you for having us, and thank you again for the funds. I run what we call the Feet Treat program which provides free shoes for students who've been referred. Last year, there were 236 students that got free shoes in Roseville. There were over 1,100 Placer County-wise. So Roseville has a big hunk of that that amount. Just for your information, in case you're interested, Ike Middle School was the biggest recipient. They got 53 kids who got new shoes. Next was Cooley and Caseburg, and then Crestmont and Sargent. Sargent had 20. All the rest of your schools had less than 20. So I would share that. But two little tiny stories. One was that I got a phone call from a counselor saying that they had a student that really badly needed shoes, and it was last winter because their shoes were duct taped. Together, the soles were duct taped to the top of the shoes, and their socks were getting wet all the time. And then a middle school counselor called and said, we have a real problem here. Some of the kids only have clogs for PE, and clogs don't work for PE. Can you help us out with gym shoes? And of course, that's what we did also for them. So just two little stories that it does make a difference. It really does. The only thing that sometimes the kids getting into high school, middle school, they want certain brand shoes, and we don't offer those unless they go to Famous Footwear because they're pretty expensive at Famous Footwear. So we primarily order from a warehouse that's a charity warehouse on the East Coast. And they're called lightweight sneakers. And so we're trying this year to offer to the high schools the opportunity for the kids to order 2 pair from the warehouse versus 1 pair at Famous Footwear, so they can get gym shoes and street shoes kind of thing. And the last part for this year, we are moving into all the preschools. There's only one here at Caseburg in Roseville. The rest are all in other cities. So we are moving into both books and shoes for the preschoolers. So that's because we have extra money from you, so thank you again.
Thank you. Next, we have Child Advocates of Placer County.
Good evening. Thank you so much. My name is Hannah. I'm a case manager at Child Advocates of Placer County. And we want to thank you so much for the funding that came through the city of Roseville. It has really allowed us to dig into the Roseville community. When we first applied for this grant, we were serving really a small fraction of our families that were in the city of Roseville. We've been able to increase that by 70%, and today over half of the families that we serve are actually city of Roseville residents. One of the significant partnerships that we've been able to build on is with VOA here in Roseville. So we work with vulnerable parents who are just coming out of homelessness and are in the shelter there. We really took our success in our peer support groups, which a lot of our Roseville families attend, and recently started a parenting group on site at VOA. And I just wanted to share that one of the things we worked on recently was noticing the good and compliments. And so that exercise we did in that group was complimenting each of the children in the home, having the parent compliment each of the children, and then we took it a step further and asked them to compliment themselves. While complimenting the kids was very easy for these parents, complimenting themselves was an incredible challenge. A couple of them actually passed on the opportunity to do so because they didn't know how to find the good things that they were doing. And I think it's just such a great example of why vulnerable families need a mentor or an advocate to come alongside them and really lift up their strengths and to build on what exists inside of them so that they can turn around and do that for their children as well. And so I just want to thank you for the funding that's allowed us to build and really connect with these families further. We're so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Our next presenter, Defending the Cause Regional Alliance. This is the Love in Action Project.
Hi, my name is Christina Moe, and I am the Love in Action Program Director. Long title. But I just wanted to thank you so much for helping fund our program. We at the Alliance, our mission is to prevent and heal childhood trauma. And the Love in Action program really is a foundational part of that, because what better way than to do that than to meet key tangible needs for our kids and families. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the program real quick. So we are comprised of 3 drives throughout the year, and then our Love in Action database, where all of our members, so it's local nonprofits, agencies, organizations, and churches, can post their kids' and families' needs on this database so that the community at large, with just a few simple clicks, can meet a need, which is pretty incredible. So through these 2 programs, we actually we received over 17,000 essential items, which are car seats, beds, diapers, back to school supplies, all of those good things. Those went to over 12,000 kids and families. So we, including in those numbers, is 158 apartments and bedrooms that were furnished. We sent 952 kids back to school with backpacks and supplies. We also were able to, it was insane, 9,000 gifts this year alone. And we turned our office into Santa's workshop. It was amazing. It was many long nights, but it was fun. And then we also were able to distribute over $33,000 in gift cards and in special vouchers to kids and families in our area. So out of all of those items, 59 orgs received those items, and we did the calculations, and 57% are families and kids in Roseville. So that is pretty amazing. Our members are so thankful for us to be able to be a support to them, because we are able to help with the donation side of things so they can have more time with their families and kids that they serve. One of the things that we were able to do, thanks to the grant funding, was we were able to work 4 months with a software developer in revamping our area needs database. So it was more member friendly, more community friendly, and we have those 59 organizations are all on there posting their needs and also their volunteer opportunities within their organizations. So we have grown 33% in a year. That is huge. So with that, we have higher demands. We have just so many more requests coming in, and it is just keeps scaling. So I really appreciate you guys in investing in us so that we can go out and help support all of the boots on the ground. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Gigi's Playhouse with the Amina Grace Speech and Language Program.
Good evening. So I'm Kathy Connor, Board Treasurer, and this is our site manager, Missy Ogleberry, who's been here just a little over a year, so wanted to get her in front of you. First of all, I think the Amina Grace is the year before. So this year, it was for operational mission support. So with an effort to stay within my 3 minutes, because I'll get a little excited and go off script, I'm going to stick with script. So obviously, thank you for this opportunity to present to the Grants Advisory Commission. We're so grateful for your continued support and this wonderful partnership with the City of Roseville. We want to thank you again for the funds we received for the 2024-25 CBF grant fund year for operational mission support. We realize that funding operational support and the operational budget isn't always as glamorous as to giving to a specific program, project, or something tangible that you can touch, but we appreciate your understanding and knowing how important operational support is to our organization. Because all of our programs are run by our amazing volunteers, and the expenses associated with these programs are mostly incurred right at the beginning as startup costs. The real cost of our programs is the cost of our playhouse. And so our beautiful, vibrant, fun, safe playhouse is so important to our mission and the services that we provide for our participants and families. The monies received from the CBS helped us to achieve another benchmark year full of excitement, success, and growth. In 2024, which was our 3rd full year of operation, we strengthened our core services, offering 10 individual and group programs which include Gigi's Kitchen is one of our just popular programs, Gigi Fit. We offer one-on-one literacy tutoring, speech, one-on-one math tutoring. We have Playhouse Pals. We have Teentastic. We have just a million programs that are so great. We provided 4,879 participation hours, and we served 500 total participants, including 159 of those being unique individuals with Down syndrome. We continue to expand our reach in the city of Roseville and provided a total of 1,289 hours of service to 120 participants from the city of Roseville. We know we have many more families to reach in our communities and are working diligently with our community partners to serve as many individuals with Down syndrome to empower them to realize a life of fulfilled potential. In the past 3 years, Gigi's Playhouse has established a strong community reputation through collaboration and business partners who provide direct funding, in-kind support, and volunteer labor. Our continued goal is to strengthen these incredible relationships, as with you, explore new partnerships, and increase our reach and the number of families that we serve. So once again, we thank you for all your dedication and time that is required for you to serve on this commission, and feel so grateful and proud to be a part of the City of Roseville community. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm up. Okay. Next is the Placer Community Foundation. Placer Community Foundation.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Eileen Speaker with Placer Community Foundation. Our mission is to provide leadership and grow local giving to strengthen our community. And our vision is Placer County as a healthy, connected community. One of our priorities for impact is strong community organizations and institutions, including capable nonprofits, who you're hearing from this evening. The way we carry out that priority is through our nonprofit initiative, which for 15 years has provided free trainings to Placer County nonprofits, including Roseville groups. In 2024, we provided 9 trainings completely for free for attendees. Topics included engaging teams for retention, trauma-informed storytelling, board governance basics, and strategic planning. Overall, we provided 2,022 hours of training to 114 unique organizations. So we love this. This initiative is so great because it's empowering these groups who are busy carrying out their missions, but also have training needs. They don't always have the budget to access those trainings, so that's where we come in. So with your grant, you've heard the impact, and as one of our attendees shared, the nonprofit initiative trainings are all so great. I always walk away with new knowledge and increased passion to be a better leader and executive director for my organization. So thank you all for what you do and for supporting nonprofits in so many ways.
All right. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Placer County Law Enforcement Chaplaincy, Mission Support, and Outreach.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. You know, I'm sitting back there thinking, man, 3 minutes seems a lot longer when I'm sitting in the car waiting for my wife or the kids. Somewhere along the line, as I was putting all this together, I forgot that I only had 3 minutes. But just to give you an idea of what we do, last year we served a little over 34,000 hours countywide of service. We covered 326 emergency call-outs, with 98 of those being in Roseville. We served 10,149 citizens, with 1,063 being Roseville specific. 4,041 law enforcement officers we reached out to or served alongside, 467 of those being in Roseville. It's hard to impress what our chaplains do. I have 31 community chaplains who serve the citizens of our communities. I have 6 law enforcement chaplains that specifically serve our law enforcement chaplains. From this time last year to where we are today, line of duty deaths in law enforcement have rose 15%. Our law enforcement chaplains are in all of the departments. Roseville specifically is my heart because I live in Roseville. I've been a law enforcement chaplain for 27 years. 26 years of those as a volunteer. I just became the senior paid chaplain in January. We build our relationships doing ride-alongs, doing briefings. I'm part of the incident command. Anytime there's a major incident, we're out there. We're alongside families. We provide, with the money that we get with the grant, allows us to train our chaplains. We have a 16-week community chaplain training. We scholarship the chaplains that want to step out of the mission field of the community chaplain into a law enforcement mission field because they're trained two different ways. We send them to a post-certified police operational standard training that's recognized nationwide. We were able to assist in 2 of the school every 15-minute programs. The only reason there's 2 is because they only pick 2 schools a year. We also participated with the I want to say Fresh Choice, but it's First Choice program for junior highs. We're hoping to add a couple of more of those next year. National Night Out is huge. We had all but 7 community chaplains out working National Night Out, covered every community, and we even had one additionally added at the 11th hour on National Night Out, to which my wife kind of reluctantly agreed to go along with me to meet those needs, but she's a great partner. But the service with the community, you know, we started off as a law enforcement chaplain organization, and seeing a need for the community, we've expanded from that. So what that looks like is when we get the opportunity to be in the lives of people at the most worst point of something that they have to come across. When we're there, we are in a position where we get law enforcement back out on the street faster because they're not dealing with the families. We step in and do that, and we help them from the point of making contact to help that loved one get picked up to the time that person's picked up and leaves the home, and then we follow up with resources following that. So we couldn't begin to do half of what we do without the support of what we do through this grant. And I am, you know, like I said before, this was the first grant I ever applied for. The seminar that you put on prior was so incredibly helpful. Being able to answer the questionnaire that you sent out just made me re-look at everything. So from A to Z, it has been a really great experience for us. So I just want to thank you all for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next invitee is Placer Veteran Stand Down, and this is for the Stand Down event that was held.
Good evening, and I'd like to echo some of the sentiments of thank you all for your work. I know it's a lot of effort, and I sat through the last meeting to the end, and I really do have a lot of appreciation for what you all do. So thank you. My name is Kelly Murphy, and I'm president of Placer Veteran Stand Down. I've been volunteering with Stand Down for 10 years, and I truly see the difference it makes in veterans' lives, which is my why. Our board is made up of local volunteers, most who have served in the military or have a tie, and nobody receives compensation. We are truly a grassroots team. They're having a board meeting without me tonight, so they're doing good. In May this year, well over 441 veterans came through the doors at the grounds, and with our 205 dedicated volunteer professionals coordinated by California Care Force, we were able to provide 247 medical wellness checks, 113 dental services, including dentures made on the spot, and 105 vision checks and free glasses, most made the same day, on the spot. Amazing. In addition to the bustling Jones Hall, we had volunteers from Great Clips giving haircuts, a veterinarian doing wellness checks and vaccines on the dogs of the veterans, pet supplies, used clothing, new clothing, so much, hygiene kits, and all the DoD gear that we can get. That's Department of Defense leftovers that we are allowed to ask for and get from the Department of Defense. It's the gear that they hated to wear for so long, and now they just can't seem to get enough of it. It's crazy. Local businesses and service groups prepared 8 meals for all of the participants and our volunteers, including an outstanding opening ceremony meal courtesy of Thunder Valley. They really put on a feast for a king. They really do a nice job. Stand Down started in 1984 in San Diego and are held in most major areas of California as well as some other states. We are the last group that allows overnight for our housing insecure veterans. And we don't just put on this event once a year. We are there for them all the time, all year long. Last month, I told you about a story about a veteran that got into housing at the very last minute with one of our service providers that came out in our pajamas and got him into housing. He's doing really great. And then yesterday, I just got notice of a gentleman that I've been working with for 2 years. He was at our 2023 stand down, and he just got into Section 8 housing this week in Roseville. So it's been a 2-year process that he went through. He's working at a golf course over by Mather, but he's hoping to get transferred to Wood Creek Golf Course, which would be really great. So, and he's from Roseville, so it's just fun. He's back with his family, and he's just turned his whole life around. It's just amazing. So that is the difference we make in veterans' lives. And sometimes it's one at a time. While many of our services and goods I mentioned are free, there's still many costs, and it truly does take a village. So thank you for being part of our village. As a spouse of a veteran, thank you. And also, I want to tell you that I love the fact that this benefit fund comes from the hospital, which I was born in, and my stepdaughter. So it's a good synergy. So again, thank you all, and appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Next, we have the Spanger Elementary Parent-Teacher Club for the outdoor classroom.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sabrina Malhorn. I am here on behalf of Spanger Elementary School and also our Parent-Teacher Club. And last year, we were honored to receive a $14,700 grant from you, which allowed us to build an outdoor classroom that now serves all 325 of our students here in Roseville. And with this funding, we transformed a very unused outdoor area into a vibrant learning space. With seating, we have shade as well, and access to our teaching garden, which was already there prior to this. And the teachers now hold science and reading and art and even social emotional learning out in the garden. And this is all just giving students the opportunity to connect with nature as part of their daily education. And the impact really has been tremendous. So every classroom teacher reports using the space on a regular basis, so at least once a month. Even if it's not for an outdoor garden lesson, they just use it to go out and read before the end of the day, or they do some classwork, some group work out there. The students are more engaged and are more attentive as well during outdoor lessons. And the families and community volunteers that we have rallied around this space, they're really helping us maintain and expand it, so keeping it in good shape. So this project would not have been possible without your support, which was what was once a vision, is now a permanent part of our school culture, an outdoor classroom that fosters curiosity, wellness, and joy in learning for every child in our school. So on behalf of our school community, I want to thank you for investing in our students and for helping us build a resource that will continue to serve Roseville children for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next invitee is Placer County SPCA. This is the new Veterinarian Foster Care Center.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your funding, and thanks for the Inspire evening. What an amazing group of leaders that are part of what we do here, so thank you. I thought the very best way for me to tell you the progress of the new veterinary and foster care centers, we actually could go and take a walk and see it. So within about 3 minutes, I think I can have you halfway there, show you what's happening, and then have you back. So we could try that, but we actually today did our punch list with our general contractor, our architects, which means we are about 3 or 4 weeks away from having full occupancy of our new veterinary center. 8,800 square feet, 5 new surgical centers, surgical suites, 5 new exam rooms, 2 dental suites, an isolation ward, and our first time ever an x-ray machine. And so this machine, these opportunities will really change the way that we are able to connect and help animals in our community. So tonight, if you want to just take a right out of Atlantic, a left on Yosemite, a left on Tahoe, you can see your investment in what we do. But I just want to remind you that it really is not about the building. For us, it's about the animals. So right now, we have about 350 animals under care. For most this year, it's been right at 400. But before COVID, we used to say our pain point was at about 300 animals. And so we started this year in the midst of kitten season, what we call kitten season, right about 400 animals, thinking that would slip some, and it never really did. And so we continue to care for animals and do that because we want to enhance the human-animal bond. And that's what this new veterinary center will do. It will help us enhance the animal and human bond. One of the best parts of my days is generally sometime every afternoon, I'll wander out and I'll watch people go through our adoption center looking for a new pet. And they are, some are seniors, some are young, there are couples. It's especially exciting to watch families. And what we tell people is, you never choose the animal always chooses you. And so it's a wonderful experience to watch people as they connect with their next best friend. And so thanks for your investment in us and what you're doing. And please, I invite you anytime you'd like a tour of the new building, please let us know. We'd love to have you come and take a tour of that building, see what we're going to be doing. And I'll take you through a tour of the adoption center, and you may not go home alone.
Thank you. Next, we have the Tommy Apostolos Fund. I'm sure I butchered that name. I apologize.
That's okay. My name is Hallie Romero. I'm the Executive Director of the Tommy Apostolos Fund. The mission of the Tommy Apostolos Fund is simple: to ensure that the children of Roseville have the clothing they need to feel confident, valued, and supported by their community. In 2024, this grant directly supported 562 children. Over 89% of those were underserved or had special needs, kindergarten through 5th grade children attending Roseville schools. These students faced a wide variety of challenges, from financial hardship to personal and family struggles. Working closely with teachers, we identified children most in need and invited them to participate in our annual shopping day. Each child left with over $200 worth of new clothing and shoes, a photo with Santa, snacks, and most importantly, a huge smile. The event wouldn't be possible without the incredible support of our community. Nearly 800 volunteers showed up to shop with these children, and 50 volunteers coordinated and guided the day. We collaborate with school staff, Coles, the Roseville Police and Fire Department, Roseville Host Lions Club, Roseville Kiwanis, the Salvation Army, local churches and community groups, IOP Photography, and Kaiser Permanente to make sure the day is unforgettable for everybody involved. This grant was critical to help us say yes to any child who needed help. While Shopping Day 2024 was a huge success, this year was also marked by profound loss. Our beloved president and founder, Aldo Panesci, passed away. His absence was deeply felt, but Aldo's legacy, his love for this town and its people, kept us moving forward. He believed that helping children would bring our community closer and build a better future. With that spirit in mind, we're already looking forward to Shopping Day 2025, taking place on December 6th at 5:30 a.m. at Coles on Fairway Drive. We invite you to join us, witness the joy your grant helps create, and we can't thank you enough for your generous support and dedication. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, our next presenter will be Wayfinder Family Services. This is a Kinship Support Services Program.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you for having us. My name is Kayla Escola. I'm Program Supervisor at Wayfinder Family Services. And this is Teresa Wright. She's our Peer Support Specialist for our Kinship Program.
Parent partner.
Parent partner.
Yes.
So we want to start today by expressing gratitude for all of the support that the funding we received last year was able to help us. With this funding, we were able to successfully put on 3 large events. including a picnic where we provided families with school supplies and backpacks, as well as a December toy shop where we provided families with gifts to give to their youth, and then a caregiver appreciation brunch. This funding also supported us in providing aid to families who were experiencing emergencies. So this looked like providing utility bills and covering utility bills so power didn't get shut off, or rent so they weren't removed from their home, to ensure that the families were able to remain stable. And then I'm going to pass it on to Teresa to share a success story.
One of the many success stories that we've had, maternal grandparents were blessed in taking on their granddaughter. The mother had been had a mental health issue and was not able to care for her child. Anyway, they needed assistance, and they needed guidance, and they needed guardianship. So we stepped up, and we were able to get some of the concrete needs met for them and for the child with the grants such as clothing, school supplies, gift cards for groceries, things like that. I personally have been in that situation with my granddaughter, and when someone is brought into your family, as much as you love them, you don't have what you need for them. You just don't.
Yeah.
You're a grandparent. You don't have that any longer. So being able, as an agency, to take that on and to assist in not only the legal part of it, but the day-to-day, everyday things is just vital. And that's something that I cherish about Wayfinder, and I'm so thankful that the community has helped in so many ways, because we're able to help as an agency, and it just makes such a huge, huge difference in the life of the child with all the programs that are available. Wayfinder's got many, many programs. I'm just so grateful to be a part of it, and so grateful for what we receive for them.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Last but not least, Youth for Christ Sacramento. Doesn't look like they're here tonight.
Show up, okay.
Okay. So with that, I want to express some things, and then I'll invite my other commissioners to join in on that. And then it's public comment, right? Okay, just checking. Right there with you. I just wanted to say that, yes, our job is hard, and we just want to thank you for making our job hard. We are grateful to live in a community that has leadership and support people in our communities that are doing the hard work, the boots on the ground that you all are doing. It is not easy to do the work that you're doing and to see the things that you see day in and day out. And I am just really grateful to live in a community that has all of you in it. And I'm glad that every year my job is harder, because every year our needs are greater. We have more people that are added. And with that, life just happens to all of us. And it is grateful. I'm just so grateful to know that if life happened to me or my family, that we have so many places to turn to for support in this amazing community. So I just want to thank all of you for the work that you guys do all year long. It's really, really amazing. I've never ceased to be amazed every year that we get to listen to these stories and how you guys have utilized the funding. So thank you for what you do. And with that, I'll open up to my other commissioners to see if they have anything that they would like to add.
No, I think you encapsulated our thoughts.
In the last meeting, right, we gave away the checks, and this meeting, we are hearing from all
At the right time, sir.
hearing the success stories and whatever happened in the community in the last year. I think it's really feels so great to hear from all of you, and you being the force multiplier for the city and being the champions on the grassroots level, right? I think it's really great to hear from you, and thank you so much for all the great work that you are doing out there.
And I'll just say that thank you very much for coming forward and bringing your reports. Again, as everybody said, it's really nice to hear all the work that you do. You read it, but it's nice to see and to hear how your programs were impacted by the grants. So thank you very much, and thank you for being here.
And with that, I will open it to public comment. Seeing none, I will go ahead and close public comment. On time, actually, at the right spot.
Proud of us.
Okay, so the next item is 5.3, the staff update on the scoring and funding discussion. And we did have one that stayed through the whole meeting last month, and we had a pretty extensive discussion about scoring and reviewing the application process. So staff will go ahead and update us on that discussion, and we will go ahead and have the information back.
Yes. Well, before I do that, I'm going to actually kick off a little bit of because I know you guys are reviewing the application and things like that. So at the end of mine, I will hit the update. But as part of the annual review process, the commission, you guys do review, revise, and as needed, and approve the materials for the upcoming cycle, which is 26 and 27 funding cycle, which will open in December. The last meeting, you guys did agree to better align the grant application and the final report, which is what most of these organizations just finished, and that's what they were here reporting on. So that's something to discuss. And to support the discussion, I did provide you guys with some information. So you have the 25-26, the grant application questions there. You also have a copy of what it looks like that the applicant sees on their end. So as far as the instruction boxes and everything that's in there. And then the list of the required documents for this coming year, which nothing's changed on that, but just so that you could see what is required of the applicants for when they do apply. And then the 24-25 final funding report questions, which is what these organizations just filled out, and then a draft copy of the 26-27 scoring criteria. So you guys will talk through that today. That will impact the application opening in December. But what you're looking for is an update that I did meet internally with the city manager's department and for further direction regarding your guys' discussion last month. And it is advised that the Grants Advisory Commission bring back suggestions to the city council. So during, I can agendize, because we didn't necessarily agendize to have this discussion this meeting, but you guys can further discuss it, or if you'd like, you guys did discuss some ideas, I can come back with and kind of refine what you guys discussed and bring some suggestions to you based on your discussion, and then have that conversation. But with that being said, there's not going to be any changes for this next coming funding cycle. So what will open in December, so the discussion you guys had will not affect the December because of the timing. So you guys have already approved the policy manual, and we're just short on time. We don't usually meet in October. We come in November, and then I have to have the application opened in December. So ultimately, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So you guys can let me know. I could put it on a future agenda, which I plan to. If there's a particular month that you guys want to discuss this, I could put that on. And then like I said, you could either open it up for further discussion, or if you'd like to kind of move this along, I can kind of put together some ideas of what you guys discussed and bring it to you to kind of give you some more guidance on that. But just to make sure you understood and that the nonprofits understood that what you guys talked about will not affect this next cycle for 26, 27.
Thank you for that clarification. I think that lends into the discussion of the application and the questions for tonight. So
Correct.
Thank you.
And this might be helpful too, that the fact that it's not really impacting, because maybe this scoring session that we just had went a little sideways. Maybe this next now being aware of that, it might be something that you guys talk about too, that maybe we add it to the agenda till we do more of a discussion about the scoring process. I know we kind of glazed through it really quick last year, so that might be something that we add, whether it's in January after the workshop, we could talk about that. We generally don't have a meeting in February, so we could add a meeting in February if you'd like to just discuss potentially what the scoring process looks like. So I know we had some new commissioners last year. We have some new commissioners this year, and maybe that might help a little bit too. So just something to think about.
So I think I'll open it up to the commissioners to what they want to do regarding you bringing back a refined version and having a further discussion about the things that we want to get recommendations or give recommendations to the council on. And then we can go from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a question. So I feel like some of our, sorry, I'm not trying to like open a giant discussion, I just had a question. I feel like some of our discrepancy was score versus money attributed. Do we have to attribute money at that, like when we're scoring? Could we just score? Instead of saying like, I think we should give 5,000 to this, because that's where it seemed to really not align. Maybe I don't know if anybody else agrees with me on that, but.
I'm trying to think, looking at.
So on the spreadsheet, just ranking them.
Yeah.
And then we don't make the decision of how much goes to each organization. We just rank them.
But then it's a discussion that might make that
figure
meeting a
out
little
how much.
longer. But maybe it's like open for discussion instead of like, oh, they ranked really high, but only we're getting X amount based on our averaging.
Right.
That could be, and that could be, if you want me to, I could look at that and bring that as a topic of discussion and kind of a suggestion. Like, I think you're right, the meeting will go longer in that case, because then
Yeah.
you have basically an open checkbook with
Right.
the amount that you're kind of allotting to each group. I'd have to look how, on the back end, with the way that the spreadsheets are done and averaging, but I can bring that as a suggestion for when we agendize it, if you'd like, if that's something you guys want.
So I guess, so the objective then would be to just rank all the applications, look at the higher ranked ones, and then start deciding on what the allocations were for each of
As a
those grant
commission.
applications.
It's almost
as we
what we
went through.
ended up doing last time.
Well, and we do, especially with that one caveat where council has kind of directed us to look towards full funding of the
Right.
request where we can. So
That was what we asked for clarification on that we haven't received.
Yeah.
like
That
what?
was, that was our
To-
big question to council was, is that still our directive?
Oh, I don't remember that question, but, okay.
I want to jump in,
Yeah.
just make sure we're mindful that we stay on what's agendized for tonight.
Oh, sorry.
Instead of having the conversation outright. For tonight's purposes, really the focus is for the update. Would you like us to schedule a meeting and then you have a full-out discussion again about coming to a consensus on what to recommend to council? Or would it be helpful for staff to bring staff recommendations, which could include that concept, and then you could discuss
The other
that
discussion
universe of
items that we
staff?
had from last time. That's what I'm leaning towards, is that to having our refined discussion from last time, being that refined, coming back and having another meeting to finalize the recommendations to council, because that would require a vote, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that would then, that wouldn't impact the ranking and for this next review cycle.
Correct,
So-
correct.
So
This-
we
yeah.
are status quo for what we are going through this, and then we would
Correct.
have an opportunity to be able to discuss potential changes to the rubric and all of that after the next award.
Correct,
Okay?
correct, for the 27, 28.
Yeah.
So,
So you guys can kind of decide too, if you want this to come back sooner than later, in a sense, because I think what you're going at is to not confuse everyone as we're going through this ranking session of the December applications,
Correct.
to not kind of get,
well,
yeah.
and then especially what we don't want to be doing is having the discussion of what's going to be changed, and then,
Yeah.
okay, review the applications like you would have last year, not with the new stuff.
For sure.
Right?
So
So
no,
then-
I
So
hear
then
you.
maybe come back in May, after our April funding meeting, then to have the conversation about this?
Even post, even at the
I
April
think
meeting.
May would be good.
Well, isn't April when we have the
Yes,
funding?
April's when you do your
Everything
funding.
would be fresh, and we'd be able to just continue on and at least initiate those discussions possibly in regards to where the commissioners might have had some challenges in
That would be a
applying
long
that.
meeting.
That would be really long.
Yeah, that would be a long meeting.
So you want another meeting instead of a long meeting. So I'm okay. So,
I would like fresh minds to discuss the changes and recommendations to council. I think that after going through the scoring and the ranking and all of that for several hours, it might be a little bit,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
See, I
and-
think this needs to be finalized before next December, right? 2026 December, right?
Correct.
What is the cutoff date that we have to incorporate those
Well,
changes?
just looking at the calendar, so you guys do the funding recommendations in April. I have to pull one up. I don't know if we have a meeting necessarily in May. I have to look if we
Normally
do.
do.
Yeah, we did.
We don't do one in June, I know that, because usually that's when I've gone to council. Let me see, give me 1 second. I do have the calendar somewhere here in
I
my
think we've
stack.
typically had a May scheduled, but it canceled.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of held in reserve in the event that we needed something to carry
Yeah.
over with our funding discussions. Yeah.
Shoot, I have a calendar somewhere. You
I
can
would
pull
say,
it
if
up.
not, I have a copy of the calendar right here.
Do you? Okay, so can you, maybe you can let us know on that. Looking at the schedule, I know April's funding. May is what is tentatively kind of on there.
This says the funding workshop continued if needed. And on
So that would be our placeholder to have that meeting.
that would be on the 12th, according to this. Of course, I know it can change.
So that would be the Tuesday. So that would be May. And then again, I don't think there is anything for June, but if you needed to go into June, you could potentially. I know a lot of times there's the vacations and things like that, so I think that's usually why that was canceled or we didn't meet, but it is there. So if that's something you guys want to do, I could put it on the agenda for May.
And I know I wasn't here for the last meeting, but watching the video, I seem to have a recollection of the potential for any kind of like work groups that might come out of it, which means to me that the quicker we have that conversation, the better off we are, so we can get those work groups in. So I, again, go back to May. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and I'd like to offer another related possibility. So we do have our workshop in January, and then I would offer to maybe even facilitate a discussion in regards to the current ranking process that we have and how that came to be, as the one that kind of was involved with the Kone report and the incorporation of those into the scoring rubric that we have. I can kind of do a refresher in regards to why we do what we do in the current process, and hopefully that will align us to be able to then take those applications and then, especially with the newer commissioners, be able to look at it and say, okay, I kind of know the approach to take, and we could identify the pitfalls that sometimes happen when it's really difficult to say no, right? And so the whole spreading money around thing, I think, might have been the thing that got us stuck this last year. So I would be willing to facilitate something like that. Since we are going to be going with the same scoring rubric as we're going forward, and do that at the January meeting, right after the workshop.
That works for me.
Or
That would be helpful.
if we have something,
Yeah.
we want to do that before we get the applications that we start ranking, which would be in March is when we get those, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
either January or have a meeting in February.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking at this. It says the grants applications are due at 5 PM on February 2nd. Okay.
But then when staff reviews it, make sure that they've got everything that was, work everybody, we don't get them until
Yes,
March.
true.
The commissioners get them in March.
I was just making sure that we, when we were thinking of having a meeting. So that's all. I'm looking at the
okay,
calendar.
okay.
That's all.
So I would offer that up if that would be any help, especially for the new commissioners as we, this, yet again,
And I wouldn't mind, I know that we could probably do it on our own, but some of the history of the Coney report would be very helpful, even to some of the commissioners such as myself. I'm aware this is my third cycle at this point. However, having some of those historical documents, though they're available, but to be able to discuss them with somebody who has the institutional knowledge would be very helpful.
and that is kind of key. I would recommend that you
Read them.
read the Kone report.
Thoroughly.
And there will be questions that come up, but I think that there's a lot of things that we can get clarified as what we were trying to do with that report, and then the recommendations that were generated from that report that then council took action on to incorporate into our protocols.
And there's also several that we haven't implemented yet. And there's a lot of changes that have happened since that report has been introduced. A lot of growth within Roseville that also needs to be taken into consideration, which kind of spurred the discussion. So.
And I think we dealt with the big things. There were a few other things that were in there that could have been considered, and like we could also discuss those as far as why they weren't at the time, and maybe consider that to move forward in whatever format. If we do the workshop things to generate some new council recommendations to council in regards to incorporating or maybe changing some of the criteria that we have for the awards. How's this?
Any further discussion?
I'm going to suggest potentially the January meeting for what maybe Ed is speaking on. Something to think about that we are, this is our last meeting here in the council chambers, which is something I was going to bring up to you guys. So right now, the only 2 meetings that will be filmed, like we are right now, is the January and April meeting. So if it's something that I don't know if that discussion, you want others to be able to view it, or they would have to be in public here sitting, watching. Our meetings will be in 2 different locations during that time, so just something to think about. If you do want it to where we can watch it and others can re-watch it, then it would probably be best to do it in January. If not, then we could add the February meeting, and that would be on February 10th, if you guys decide to do February.
I think the January sounds fine, personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Do I have to do public comment after each one of these discussions? Just all the way at the end?
That wasn't really action that we were
Okay.
taking.
So this was just a review. So are we done discussing the
No,
things that we
that's what
wanted to
we're
discuss?
going into next.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So the next part is to discuss the application questions, the process, and the final report questions for the 26-27 funding cycle. Does anybody have any changes to the questions? I know we received the survey results at our last meeting, so I wasn't sure if anybody went back and looked at the application questions with the survey responses in mind, or if there was anything that we wanted to discuss regarding the application, the scoring process, or anything else.
I mean, I did, but I don't know. I don't think I had any. I don't know what we can eliminate. Yeah.
There was, questions and aligning the questions with aligning the questions along with the information on the scoring rubric, so to try to align those a little bit.
In the Zoom Grants application, yeah.
Well, it would be the Zoom Grant application has the questions, and then there's the, what we actually score and try to identify, whether there's collaboration and some of the other things. I think that there was some alignment issues that could be considered there, but I was able to work through that. The other one was, a lot of times from the survey was coming back that there were, why all the documents, why all the things that needed to be included. And this is part of the challenge of being public funds, being administered by the city of Roseville as opposed to a foundation that might have different ways of being able to control the funds. So I don't think we have a lot of latitude in regards to reducing the submittal requirements.
Yeah, I think that was confirmed last meeting.
Yep.
The forms are the forms.
Yes.
Yeah. I do have, I don't know if you guys saw the recommended edits to the application questions. So for number 23, just to update the wording for capital expenditure requests. Basically, it reads, if requesting capital expenditure for property improvement, does the organization own or lease the building or property to be improved? I think that was a little confusing, I think, with the wording from what I saw come in. We had a yes or a no, so I've kind of reworked it. That might help the organization a little bit to where if requesting capital expenditure for property improvement, does the organization own the building or property to be improved? And it's either yes, then upload proof of ownership. If no, then they need to upload a lease copy of the lease, and owner's written authorization for making the proposed property improvements. If you guys, so it's going to be one or the other, so if that's the case, then that's what they would have to provide for that question, if you guys are okay with that. Okay.
Yeah.
I am. And then I think I had.
The RRF.
Yeah, so then I had required documents clarifications. So the RRF, which is the registration renewal fee report, which seems to throw a lot of the organizations off, but that's been something for many years that we've requested. So this was something when I reached out to organizations that were struggling with that hadn't filed or didn't have the information back yet. We just asked that they show current filing status. So some of them had asked for an extension. So as long as they provided that they requested an extension, that was fine. So it either needs to be one or the other. If they have nothing, then that obviously means they haven't filed in the past, not currently. So that is where I wanted to clarify so that they knew, so then hopefully I didn't have to follow back up with them asking for that. So it could be must show current filing status with the California Attorney General's office or documentation of an extension is kind of how I wanted to kind of reword that, if that is okay. And then I think the last one was the key personnel. This was another one I think that might have been a little confusing because I think some associated that they were asking money for personnel. And so and they might have wrote no personnel associated. And so I had to reach back out and say, no, well, whatever program you're doing, whatever personnel is with that program. So I just wanted to kind of reword it that list all individuals involved in the proposed project, program, activity, effort, et cetera, for which funding is being requested, and noting, if any, which personnel are funded by the grant proceeds or projected to be paid from the grant include. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that that's solely what they're asking for, it's just who's running that, because I'm thinking that's what you guys wanted to see was who are the people that are running that program.
Yes.
Correct, okay. So,
And which number is this?
this is, for under the required documents, it would be the key personnel. So it's, well, if it's on your, it'd be page 18, I believe, of the attachments, if I'm in the right order.
You don't need it. 18 of 37.
And it's towards the bottom, for the required documents, it's key personnel. So right now it reads, identify all personnel operating the proposed effort paid from grant proceeds. Include their name, job title, and experience. If this is a new position, briefly explain the job responsibilities. So because that was in there for paid with grant proceeds, I had several that came back with, the grant proceeds aren't paying that. I think they were thinking it was a new
Yeah.
position. So I just kind of wanted to reword it to hopefully make it a little clearer.
Helpful.
So hopefully how I worded it is clear, but if you guys have suggestions, I'm open for that.
No. Any more questions or discussions on scoring or applications? I will move to public comment. Seeing none, I will close public comment and see if anybody, one last time, has anything to add.
We will take a motion to adopt these materials.
Do I have a motion to adopt the 2026-2027 application materials?
I move to adopt the 2026-27 application materials.
And I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And that leads us to the end of the meeting. We made it. Does any staff have any announcements regarding the Grants Advisory Commission?
So I have a few. So the final reports, which you just heard from most of the organizations, are in Zoom grants and available. So if you'd like to read them, but the year-end summary report will be at the November agenda. So it will be on the November agenda. So I'm in that process of summarizing them right now, but you're more than welcome to read over them if you'd like. I'll also attach a full copy of them in the November agenda as well. The policy manual will be that you guys recommended the edits is going to be going to City Council on October 15th. So just so you guys know about that. The other item, which I kind of already said, but the council chambers are going to be under construction starting mid-October. You see that they're already outside starting some construction. So we'll be holding our meetings here in this building. There's 2 conference rooms, conference room 1 and 2. So if you come in our main entrance and you go to the right, that's where most of the boards and commission meetings will be held that are not televised. If they're going to be televised, so we will have 2 meetings. It'll be across the street over in the electric building. And they have it's kind of, I don't know, I think it's called Solar Room. I think that's what the conference room is called. I will make sure when we send out so you guys know, but basically the January and April meeting will be across the street, and all of our other meetings will still be here in this building, just in our main, kind of outside our main lobby there. I believe construction's supposed to go until like May, I believe, so we might have our whole actually cycle not in this room anymore. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. And then also to remind you about the board and commission's appreciation dinner on October 8th. So if you haven't already RSVP'd to Katrina, to please reach out to her. And lastly, just so you guys know, our November meeting, which we don't have anything scheduled for October. So November will be on Wednesday, the 12th, because Veterans Day is Tuesday. So we will be in the commission or the conference rooms 1 and 2 on Wednesday, the 12th. So just to make sure you guys have that. But those are the only housekeeping items I have, so.
With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got that moved on the calendar, otherwise I.